Well, Vivek Ramaswamy is getting sued twice. One of the lawsuits is filed by this guy. It's Mr. John Phillips. It's kind of neat to see his work history. He filed his lawsuit after getting fired, after only working at Strive Asset Management for 6 months. Now, this Strive Asset Management is the sort of anti-ESG investment fund that Vivek put together. I do think this person's background's pretty solid, it looks like. I mean, he spent 8 years at JPM, 13 years at Fidelity, and then maybe running his own fund, or, well, VP here it says, for 3 years. So he generally has work longevity. Strive Asset Management is Vivek's anti-ESG fund, and there are now 2 lawsuits out of this. I've got one of the lawsuits right here. This is lawsuit 1. This is from Joyce Roseley. We'll go through John's lawsuit in a moment. Her lawsuit alleges, along with what her attorney claims, mostly because I wrote this sort of PR line right here on the right. Her lawyer suggests the firm, Strive Asset Management, was founded in retrospect as a PR mechanism for the presidential campaign of Ramaswamy. Not a lot of thought was given into running it as an actual investment firm. And this is, again, Strive Asset Management, of which Vivek is one of the founders and co-owners. You could see that here, one of them is this Aaron Freerichs right here, founder, co-owner. And then, of course, we have right here, founder, co-owner, Vivek Ramaswamy. The allegations in Joyce's, I'm going to be transparent here, they don't seem like, and I don't know, I don't want to minimize, but it doesn't seem like there was a lot of evidence thrown into this. It's almost like these are like verbal allegations that were thrown together in a pretty, what appears to be basic complaint or lawsuit. I mean, this is a 9-page lawsuit, which is on the small side. Some of the allegations here are improperly promising future investment returns and utilizing non-compliant sales material. So a couple things to know, and then we'll go back into this. Vivek in the past has, in my opinion, done some things that are not the most upfront. I think actually potentially shady. Some people say borderline fraudulent. And of course, those are opinions. The easiest way for you to make up your mind on that is just look at the evidence, and you could just type into YouTube, Vivek Ramaswamy, meet Kevin, fraud. And then I just break down all the allegations there. Those are back from like 2015 and 16. That's how he got his first set of money, and then used that money to create sort of these other ventures. This here is one of those other ventures, and it's worth noting that this company manages somewhere around 10 different ETFs, and anytime you like tweet something about the ETF, worth noting, I am also a registered financial advisor, and I run an actively managed ETF, so I know a little bit about this world. And basically, anytime if I were to mention my ticker symbol to you right now, I would either have to have a broker-dealer license set up and my own compliance arrangement where I can do my own compliance, or I have to run it through this company called Foreside, and they take like 3 days to basically approve your compliance stuff. And here, one of the allegations is, well, Vivek just wouldn't listen to those rules, or would improperly promise future, investment returns. Here, she alleges that she met with the head of people strategy, another woman, and expressed concern that this one individual's activity was creating a potential legal liability for the defendant. And that this head of people strategy would keep an eye on these uncomfortable situations to observe. This, let's just say, put it this way, if you're going to put together a sexual assault lawsuit or allegation, I feel like you need a little bit more than just saying, hey, I told HR, I'm uncomfortable and this is creating a legal situation. That almost seems threatening. Like, I would expect maybe, how about some text messages? Or how about, a little bit more of a descriptive situation like, oh, he touched me or did this and I told him no. Or how about a police report? It feels weak for a lawsuit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're alleging securities violations, show us the juice. Now, it's interesting because John kind of alleges similar things. We tried to get his lawsuit from Kansas courts, but it was actually harder to get a hold of. We have to do a FOIA Act request to actually get it, Freedom of Information request. So we don't actually have the docket, but based on at least what's circulating through Bloomberg and some of the other media, in one case, John accuses Ramaswamy of portraying an overly optimistic financial situation to strive stakeholders and staff. I mean, it doesn't surprise me. Vivek is basically the sales bro, right? The pharma sales marketing bro. So the fact that he was overly optimistic about the future of the company doesn't sound like a crime to me. It would, of course, be if that raised or elevated or escalated, so to speak, to the level of, saying to people, hey, you're going to make 20% on your money every year forever. And then it's just like, A, impossible, and B, fraudulent potentially, right? But again, you would expect some more juice and evidence here. So I have to say, going through both of these Vivek lawsuits, I was quite frankly excited to see we're going to get like some good juice out of these lawsuits. That's why we went hunting for the actual complaints where we could get them. We're going to FOIA the other one. And look, by no means do I want to downplay potential sexual abuse that could have happened in the workplace. Again, I'm simply saying I would have expected a more colorful lawsuit and legal complaint. And if you search Vivek's responses, he's basically responded to the court so far and said, hey, look, I'm running for president and I can't handle these lawsuits right now. Can we delay them to the future? Some people are now alleging that this is Vivek trying to invoke the Donald Trump method of let me try to run for president so I could pardon myself or get immunity from these lawsuits, which I don't think you would anyway because they're civil lawsuits, not criminal lawsuits. And I quite frankly don't think that's true because, again, the allegations in these lawsuits, they feel weak. And again, that's not, I don't want to express doubt and say that, John, there weren't things that were shady that happened, or Joyce, there weren't things that were shady that happened. I guess I would have just expected a stronger first volley of a lawsuit here. So I'm not here to come to the rescue of Vivek versus any other candidate. I don't care. I don't have a horse in this race. I just try to provide the information. But in terms of these two lawsuits, nothing that would stop me if I were in Vivek's shoes from running for president. Be like, all right, well, I guess we got to deal with these allegations. But it does seem like there were some employee management problems, and it's likely these employees didn't feel heard. Maybe he was distracted with other things, and they felt cast aside to sort of manage this pet project that they weren't super enthusiastic about. It's worth noting that the CEO who's running the company right now, apparently the company manages around $1 billion in assets, which is pretty good. I mean, that kind of company could probably bring in $5 to $15 million in revenue if you're charging basis points on your ETFs every year. That's pretty good. Those could pay salaries. It sounds like maybe a workplace culture misfit. I don't know. Again, just sharing my thoughts and opinions based on what we read here. And that gives you a little more insight into the lawsuits around Vivek. I'll let you know as I get more updates. Make sure to subscribe for more. Thanks. Bye.
Congratulations, man. You have done so much. People love you. People look up to you.
Which I say, yes, meet Kevin.
Where does this mean we are in the economic cycle? Should we be thinking about buying real estate? Should we be thinking about buying stocks? I have a background in real estate as a real estate agent, real estate broker, real estate investor, a stock market investor, and fund manager.
Why not advertise these things that you told us here?
We'll try a little advertising and see how it goes.
Always great to have you on. Kevin Paffrath there, financial analyst and YouTuber. Meet Kev.